You're listening to Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast.
Oh my God. Listen up, ragamuffins. We encourage each and every one of you to drink deeply from the cup that is Fair Riverdale.
Your hosts, Jordan, Cliff, and Seth.
Hello. Brian Ka-Pow. Welcome to Thistle House. Shove it, Hal.
We are Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast, and we've got some Riverdale to talk about. Good evening. My name is Jordan Lowe.
I'm Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth.
Ending, guys. There is an end in sight.
It's the only reason I'm still doing that.
We're 100 episodes deep, but we know there's an end. We just got word Riverdale's ending after season 7, so we've still got plenty. We've still got all of season 6, and we got a full season 7 to go. We're not going to be deprived of anything.
No,
we're going to wrap it up in their own fashion.
Season 7's not gonna premiere until the middle of the.
Till we're good and ready.
That's right.
So our last episode was talking about Chapter 100, which was a mind-blowing multiverse of madness, maple madness. And part 5 of that 5-part Riverdale run of episodes. So now it's back to normal, right? We're going back to the regular.
All normal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Normal.
I don't think I've ever described the show as normal.
Right. Season 6, episode 6, chapter 101, Unbelievable.
We start out at the Coopers. They're trying to explain about the bomb to the Thunder. And how they slid under the table to save themselves, and Jughead was in the garage, and that's how they survived. And Thunder's wanting them to go to the hospital. And they're like, well, Jug doesn't have any insurance. He's like, So she's like, well, Betty's going, so she's going to take her to the hospital. But Uncle Frank takes Archie over to the, next door, and he's like, where exactly did you hide? Because the place is freaking destroyed. And it's a little confusing. But then they hear, what do they hear?
Is that Bingo?
There's a whimper, a dog whimpering under
Bingo!
the rubble. That was his name-o. And they got him out, and I'm like, who's Bingo? I don't remember Bingo.
I barely remember Bingo from the.
When was Bingo a thing?
He was that Bingo was
Vegas. I remember Vegas.
No, yeah.
Bingo is the emotional support army dog. Who saved their lives.
Remember, there was an actual Bingo. He was a guy, and he died. Archie,
I don't believe that. I always picture Bingo as a dog.
No. We were introduced
even in
to
the
him.
foxhole in the army. I picture him as a dog.
Anyway, at Pops,
Bingo had 4 broken legs is the thing.
We're not there yet.
Oh, what?
Settle down. Jughead tells Tabitha, that this explosion on Elm Street is a big story. So he's going to go write it. And as he leaves, the bell rings on the door, and it starts giving this high-pitched sound in his ears. It's freaking him out. So then we get at TT and Fang's apartment, which we still don't have a good name for. What's the TT and Fang's apartment? Tang's apartment. I like it. Quick. They're telling Kevin that they're dating. They're still both queer, but they're dating.
Yeah, it makes
they
no
make
sense.
Sure that
and Kev's out of the picture.
Well, they're still both bi. So that's what they're trying to tell him. And then Sheriff calls about the bomb. Calls Kev. Then Thistle House, Britannia interrupts Cheryl's scholarly research. She's reading a witchcraft book. And Cheryl says the curse against Jedediah and Archibald and whatever the name for Betty was that for realsies? Then she's like, where's the parchment curse I read? Where's that? Nana's like, I burned it. So they take Bingo to the vet. Spoilers from Jordan. Frank says, Uncle Frank said, did you call Molly Ringwald? And Archie's like, well, I didn't want to worry her. He's like, well, her house blew up. I was like, Uncle Frank has a point. You probably call someone when their house blows up.
I mean, yeah, Riverdale is a sliding scale of what's important enough to call Molly Ringwald.
Right.
Her house blowing up is probably on the list.
And a great line. The vet walks out and says, are you Bingo's dads? Bingo's alive, but all 4 legs are broken. And I just stopped, paused, and just laughed my ass off. I was like, what an insane line to say. I was like, I didn't know where this was going. So I was like, why? Why are all 4 legs? It's just so weird. Oh, so back at Jugatha's apartment, he's trying to type that story, and he hears the high pitch again. She brings home some Pop's takeout. It was definitely not pancakes because it was not in the special pancake container.
Yeah.
He's trying to expose the ram with his story.
I said this show wrote Hiram off of it and still can't let it go.
Let go.
Get past Hiram.
We can't. At the White Worm, Fangs wants to go nuclear on the Ghoulies. But what about baby Anthony? It's going to be a problem. Well,
that's my other favorite thing about this show is they never just call me Anthony.
No.
It's every single time
still
it's baby Anthony.
He's still baby.
Uncle baby Anthony.
Uncle baby Anthony.
So the Ghoulies have a new leader. Twyla Twist.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
And at Thistle House, Cheryl says, the best way to nullify a curse is Cliff.
Oh, my God.
I love asking somebody who's 8 episodes out.
Yeah.
What's the best way to nullify a curse? And there's enough of it in this episode that you could possibly remember.
Does it involve maple syrup?
It does not.
No.
But it does involve bees. I'll just tell you. You have to use reversing candles made of beeswax. As the candles burn.
She was queen of the bees, remember?
Yeah. As the candles burn, the curse melts away. It takes about 24 hours. And then she lays down these voodoo dolls in front. And has Archie, little red hair and an R on his jacket. And Jughead's doll has a crown. That's amazing. She says, a new age of wonderment is upon us.
I screenshotted that because I figured I could get some use out of that.
Yes. So good.
So that means magic is. We're done with Riverdale. We're done with the alternate reality stuff. So we are saying magic is real in Riverdale continuity. It's canon.
Mm-hmm.
Witchcraft is canon.
Yes. As far as I'm concerned, it always has.
Check.
So at the hospital, because Thunder made Betty go to the hospital. She's being kept overnight for observation. She's got a couple cracked ribs, but other than that, she's okay. Back at Thistle House, Cheryl checks on the candles. They're not burning.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
We're not sure why. She kind of looks suspiciously at Nana when Nana says, perhaps it was a night breeze.
Nana's acting a little sketchy in this episode.
Yeah. She always looks sketchy because of her milky eye.
Well, yeah, it's more sketchier than normal.
Yeah. The hospital, Betty sees a glow around Trevor, the orderly.
He's got an aura.
Something up with that guy. He's got a weird aura. So at Jugatha's place, Jug is just out of it. But then the wall beat journal wants to run his article nationally. They all want to nail the ram. The country does. At the Coopers, Veronica wants to help. They want to just freaking everybody's against the ram. He's not even getting paid to be on this show anymore.
Yeah.
At the El Royale, Archie has gained 27 pounds.
It's all pancake weight.
I don't know. Somebody's eating. At the Coopers, Thunder says that the nurse had her throat slit at the hospital. That seems suspicious. Odd to bring up out of the blue. The Pembroke, Veronica calls her sister Hermosa about the ram. You know, how he's caused this problem. Betty stops by the FBI and asks Agent Lynn, any guess? They've told you on the show. Any guess what Agent Lynn, her first name is? Curious if you can remember her first name. I don't know how much she's on after these 2 episodes.
There was an Agent Foster, right? There was a Silence of the Lambs reference.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't remember Agent Lynn.
I don't know if there's any freaking reference, but I just thought it was a weird first name to go with Lynn. It's Marsha. Anyway, she wants her to lock on to Trevor. You need to look into him because there's something suspicious about him. She doesn't say that she sees a weird aura or anything magical's going on.
He glows.
Yeah, he glows a little bit. At the Pembroke, Veggie are talking. She says she wants to have the ram killed. She's just gonna fucking have him killed. At the FBI, Glenn hits on Betty.
This freaking guy won't go away.
He won't.
I had completely forgotten about him.
Oh, you can't forget about Glenn. He's hitting on Betty, and he calls Archie a pipsqueak when she brings him up. He doesn't know that he's just gained 27
right
pounds.
That's factually inaccurate.
And he starts glowing, so she knows there's something wrong. It's got that red aura. She knows, well, there's something wrong with Glenn, as if we didn't know that. I don't need to see his aura to know that Glenn is bad news. Molly Ringwald comes home when she heard her house blow up, so she comes home, says, you could have died. Your father protected you. I agree. I think he came back and protected him. At the casino, Veronica is going to pay Anita, this hitman, to kill the ram. How much is she going to pay him?
$1 million.
$2 million. The Rams were $2 million. At the Worm, they meet Twyla from the Ghoulies. She says the Ram was paying them to kill Archie. So watch out. So they're not gonna have any part of that. They want to kill Archie. So Archie is working on the house, and he walks by a nail, and it drags across his arm and rips his shirt, but it doesn't even make a nick on it. Doesn't do anything.
He fought a bear.
So what's he do? He starts punching the walls to see how strong he is. He just starts punching walls in his own house. Well, it's not his house yet, but he's like, I'm Superman. So
he's unbreakable, baby. I thought we were going to go full unbreakable. I thought he was going to start lifting paint cans.
Yeah, put on a poncho.
When I saw that, when I realized he was unbreakable, I heard Chadwick Boseman's voice in my head. I heard, get this man a hood. He's got to go out there and fight the crime.
Get this man a hoodie. So Fangs and Tang tell Archie to be careful because of the Ghoulies. And he's like, hey, hanging out at the docks, right? Like, yeah, because he's Mr. Tough Guy now.
Oh, yeah. God.
As usual. As if he ever needed to be unbreakable to we've fighting the whole gang.
We've been pro Archie since his red circle days, and he didn't even wear a shirt.
He should have freaking
then.
Painted a big red circle on his chest. That would have been amazing.
Season's not over yet.
That's true. The Thistle House, candles are out again. So she tells Britannia, it's time to catch the septuagenarian saboteur crimson-handed. Agent Marshall Lynn says Trevor is sketchy. He'd spent a little time at Shankshaw. He was into drugs. Well, there's some drugs at the hospital. Maybe he's trying to steal drugs, and that's why he slit this nurse's throat. So also, Marcia says that Glenn told her that, Betty had punched Glenn when he was hitting on her and stuff, and he had the aura. So he covers it up like Elon Musk this week, and he says, well, you guys, we almost banged. He tells Glenn, and she accidentally elbowed him, So at the docks, Archie goes down there to start some crap with the ghoulies. The ass beating is off screen. We don't see it. Then at the hospital, Reggie's with his dad. His dad's supposedly dying. And there on the wall, there's a sign that says there is a hepatitis A outbreak. Which I don't know why that's there, but it was very blatant that there was a hepatitis A outbreak. So Veronica leaves. She's starting to feel sentimental because Reggie's dad's dying. So she's starting to feel bad about, I don't know, putting a hit out on her dad.
Yeah, so maybe again, that was a little too far.
In the course of one episode, Veronica flip-flops with her family allegiances.
Yes.
Like she constantly.
Always. So she tries to call Anato, and he says, it's done. He sends her a pic of a dead ram. So at the El Royale, Betty's there, and Archie comes in just covered in ghouly blood. And all I could think was, there's an Hep A outbreak.
He's unbreakable. He can't get it.
But he does not have a scratch, he says. So I was like, oh, okay. I wonder if they meant that to make me feel better. Actually, you get Hep A oral fecal, so you don't really get it from blood. But anyway, at Pop's, Jug is mopping, and he can't hear one of the customers ask him for a pancake box, and so he's starting to realize he's losing his hearing. The hospital, Betty confronts Trevor. Trevor pulls a scalpel, and Archie comes by him and says, I wouldn't do that, bro.
He's vigilante and all over the place.
Yeah. Says, I wouldn't do that, bro, unless you want me to break both arms. And Betty just he'll do it too.
This is like peak Archie. This is what Archie has always wanted to be.
She's totally into it. She's like, he will totally break both your arms. You should see his dog.
I'm down for that.
So
that would be pretty funny if he would have been just like, look at Bingo.
Right. Look what I did to your dog.
How many legs have you got, bro?
Yeah. So at the bar, Betty tells Archie she sees threatening auras, And he's like, that's cool. Watch this. And he stabs himself with that scalpel and doesn't get hurt. And he's like, I'm worried I might hurt you. And she's like, you can't hurt me because I'll see the danger in your aura.
Duh.
And she tells him about Glenn being handsy. Oh, well, you know where that's going to go. At Thistle House, we see Britta is the one blowing out the candles. And she says, I'm not Britta. She's Abigail.
Lord.
So Cheryl tells Nana about Britta being possessed. And she's like, we're going to have to do an exorcism. And
so this whole thing is the curse of the...
Yeah. Oh, you're going to try to explain this? Yeah.
I'm trying to remember myself. Like the ancestors... Archibald
yeah,
Abigail put a curse on the ancestors
because they burned her as a witch.
Right. Okay. So Cheryl wanted to lift the curse because she has gotten over it finally, but Abigail won't let her. That's what's happening.
Something to do with when she read this the parchment and stuff trying to lift her where she caused something also.
Yeah.
So if these candles
Don't
burn
think too
out,
hard.
Cheryl has forgiven her friends, and everything would be kosher. But Abigail won't. She's a restless spirit. Won't let
Yeah.
that happen. Okay.
So Nana says no to exorcism, yes to banishment.
Banishment.
That sounded pretty close. Banishment. Then we get Percival Pickens shows up at the Andrews house. He wants to buy it. And no, he is not a character from the comics.
Did you Google that?
I did you Googly that. And the show writer, whatever his name is, Roberto, said he wanted him to be more of like a Stephen King character showing up in town.
I didn't get that vibe whatsoever.
No. Unless he's supposed to be like the guy that like the guy that ran Needful Things, just kind of a prissy, whatever. Anyway, the FBI
His business card says Percival Pickens, entrepreneur. I was like, that's a pretty sweet business card. That's pretty vague.
That's pretty Michael K. Easton.
Yeah.
The illustrious Percival
The illustrious one.
Yeah. Businessman.
So,
business is good.
that's what it should say on the back. Business is good. Oh,
That's the next Kickstarter reward.
yeah.
Your own business, custom-made business card.
So at the FBI, Glenn shows up, and all the guys have been reassigned. It's only women working there, and he's under investigation for sexual harassment.
Time's up, Glenn.
Yeah.
Yep.
How little does he know how time's up it is? So the hospital, Jug is basically deaf now. He's got 98% deafness in his left ear, 87 in the right. At the bar, Archie and Molly Ringwald are talking, and he's like, sell the house to me, Mom. I never went to college, so I have all that money.
Yeah. He's got his GI Bill.
So to Pembroke, Veronica's crying because her dad's dead. Reggie's dad's better. He's all fine now. Thistle House, they tied up Britta, and they keep repeating, "Spirit, we compel you," and they say all this stuff to try to rid her of this. And then we see
Getting
that
rid of Britta. She's a GDB.
she's a GDB. Nana has
That's
secretly
a Chevy Chase song there from Community.
Nana secretly has a spider brooch in her hand, or like a little jeweled spider or something in her hand. At the Worm, Twyla comes in and declares war on the serpents because Archie kicked their asses. So then we get Archie. Archie goes to the FBI to kick Glenn's ass. Then at Thistle House, Abigail / Cheryl blows out the candles. We realize that Nana has placed her and Cheryl with the incantation.
What a twist.
It was Nana's plan all along.
Yep. Kev is
This will make a great story 50 years from now when Nana explains it to somebody.
yeah.
Oh, that was the time I banished Abigail.
Yeah. At Tang's
Put her
house,
in the spider brooch.
Kev is gonna see, now you just spoiled that. That was not told in these episodes. Be careful. Kev is gonna guard baby Anthony with his life because they're busy with the freaking ghoulies. This is what was happening back then, Cliff. You look confused.
Okay.
So Archie buys his own blown up house.
Sound financial investment.
Yes.
Yes.
That he punched through the walls and stuff also. Hermosa calls and threatens Veronica because, I don't know. I thought she knew she was going to kill him anyway, but now she's mad because she did it. At the Coopers, Betty says, let's face this together, Archie. And he says, well, if you really want to be with an unemployed, non-unionized construction worker worth a mortgage, I'm in.
Who doesn't?
And the veterinarian calls and says, Bingo is all better. All his legs are healed already.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. Invincible.
And it pops. Glenn is all beat up and he leaves with his takeout. Again, not pancakes. He gets attacked in his car by the trash bag killer, TBK. He should not have messed with Betty, is what he says, basically. Disrespected. I couldn't read my own right.
Rough.
That was episode 101. A lot happened in that episode.
The thing that tickled me the most about this episode is when they're going over their new abilities. Jughead's dealing with his deafness. Betty's dealing with this strange sensation. And Archie says he's getting denser. Like that. Yep, that checks out. Archie's has always been dense, but he just
didn't think he could get any denser. I'm even denser.
Oh, we're getting denser by the minute.
He could fight 2 bears now.
Man.
He's going to be a white dwarf star by the end of this.
So we can do another episode. What we got?
Chapter 102, Death at a Funeral. Brought to you by Cool Ranch Doritos.
Yeah. I had a Doritos reference in here. I threw in there. They got at the blue and gold, I think. Jughead says, he's talking to himself. You can hear his thoughts throughout this episode when he's talking. And he's saying how, there's all these things he can't do because of hearing, but he can still eat hamburgers and kiss Tabitha.
In that order.
But other than that, how will I go? Barchi are taking turns smashing their hands in a vice while they're constructing the house. She's like, that hurts. And he's like, nope, doesn't hurt me.
I'm dense, bro.
Yeah.
I am super dense. Britta says, hey, Nana, Cheryl's acting weird. That's because Nana Rose just says it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no lying anymore. She goes, that's because I put Abigail's soul into her and Cheryl's gone forever.
Yeah. Nana don't lie. She just tells you. I mean, she's pretty straightforward.
Cheryl comes out in some sexy dress and says, do all the ladies dress like harlots?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Britta. Every time Britta is on screen from here on out, she has the greatest facial expressions and like side eye and weird looks, and yeah, she's the MVP of this run here.
Nana Rose says, "Fallen times. Let's take the Dale back from the Council of Four." She's talking about the freaking town council heads, TT and whoever else. I don't know who else. Tabitha, Frank, Thunder, and who?
Yeah, that's 4.
Was TT one of them?
Yeah.
Is she the other one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So at the blue and gold, I have flashcards with Archie. That Archie's kind of finding out about Jughead being deaf, and they're talking. Then we get the Pembroke Veggie are talking. She tells Reggie the ram was found dead, and he's like, "You did this." And she said, well, there's a memorial service at the casino. Don't tell my grandma. Don't tell my abuelita. I killed Dad. Please. At Pops, Sheriff Keller and Kevin are sitting there talking. And Baby Anthony is there also. Because he's Baby Anthony setting. And also he says, I would like to be your deputy.
Oh, yes.
He wants to be your Enos. So, Cooper's Agent Lynn calls. Glenn's car was found. Then we get to meet the Abuelito. She introduces Geraldo. I think she says he's her grandson. I thought she said he was her grandson, which didn't make sense to me, but I didn't rewind. But that doesn't make sense. Veronica's her granddaughter, so maybe I misheard that. And she tells Veronica she wants her to do the eulogy for the ring. And she's like, okay. At Tang's, Jughead has to wait 6 months for an implant to try to hear again. And she wants him to learn sign language. He doesn't want to bother. He wants to wait 6 months to get an implant. He can't write without music or the clack of the keyboard. So he just can't write. And at the FBI, Betty is hearing this whining in her head. She's getting like migraines. And then she gets a package in the mail, and there's a foot in it. She'd know that foot anywhere.
That's Glenn's foot.
That's Glenn's foot.
It's a foot in the box. Step 1, put the foot in the box.
Step 2, send it to the FBI. Then we're at the gym at the El Royale, where all town meetings take place now.
Right. Yep.
Archie needs dumpsters at his house. He wants to request dumpsters at his house because they're doing some reconstruction. Veronica mentions that her dad died, and everyone can rejoice. Percival Pickens shows up and just kind of blabs about how he's new in town. And Abigail / Cheryl says something, some I don't remember what she says. The Thunder says something about Percival maybe being related to General Augustus Pickens.
Yeah, I remember that name.
And then Abigail recognizes Thomasina up there on the panel.
Oh, you bet she does.
Her ex lover from the past. So Jugatha, well, at Tang's house, Jug sees a helmet on the chair. He just randomly sees a motorcycle helmet on a chair in the living room. It's just like it's sitting on a chair in the living room, as if he acts like it's been sitting there for years and he never saw it. So, it's really weird, Anyway, he's like, "Oh, that sounds like a great idea." So at Thistle House, Abigail's asking about TT, who she is, and stuff. Betty tells Archie she thinks the trash bag killer is slowly killing Glenn and sending her to pieces. Jughead wrecked his motorcycle, and Tabitha's mad, but hey, he can't hear. And he never felt so alive as when he was riding that motorcycle.
Jug, you're not unbreakable.
Has Jughead... I don't remember. When did he quit the Serpents? Do you remember? He was the leader.
Before the time jump, so was it that long ago?
Oh, definitely. He hasn't been doing that since then.
Yeah, because he went to New York.
Dressed and stuff.
Yeah. Because the only Serpents left are TT and Fangs, pretty much, that we can name. There's no Sweet Pea. There's no, Cheryl and...
Lugnut,
Tire Iron, Baby Teeth.
Yeah. FP.
Baby Teeth, Anthony.
Yeah. Wait till he gets his baby Anthony teeth. So one of the construction crew guys finds palladium. Is that it? Palladium?
Yeah.
Finds it in Archie's basement. Which Archie's like, cool, man, I'll give you some money for it, or the next one you can have. The Coopers, the crew goes over there next door to the Coopers for coffee, and Archie just starts chugging hot coffee, and they're like, "What are you doing?" It's like,
Isn't
"Yeah,
that
man."
hot?
He's like, "Yeah, man, it's hot. It's really hot. It burns." He's very convincing.
I'm sorry, I'm dense.
I'm super dense, didn't I? I'm like a thermos, bro. So Abigail goes to see TT at the school. She's like a counselor or whatever. And she's talking about wanting to adopt Britta, trying to just chat up TT. Super fan of of Hermione comes to dinner after Hermione comes to town from Real Housewives of wherever. Where'd she live? New York, I guess.
I don't know. I thought this woman quit the show, and she came back like 4 times.
Yeah. That's how you do it. She comes back and she's trying to do her show. Veronica wants to clear the room so she can actually talk to her mom, and Kevin's like throwing his napkin down. He's mad that he's not going to see Real Housewives stuff.
Yeah, I wrote, Kevin loves the drama Hermione brings.
Yes. And Veronica tells her that she killed her dad, which she's totally cool with. Archie falls through the upstairs landing at his house, as Archie would. He's super dense. I don't know if we mentioned that. And he just falls through the floor. But this time he bleeds. His hand hurts. And it bleeds. So there's this new teacher guy this deaf teacher, and he's going to help Jug.
His name was Daniel Defoe.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Who is the author of Robinson Crusoe. I don't know why. He's like a very famous author, Daniel Defoe.
Was Robinson Crusoe deaf or anything?
I do not believe so.
Maybe the writer was. Trash bag killer visits Betty. He's got a hand for her, and Archie calls, and she tells the trash bag killer, Archie will kick your ass. Yeah,
so my favorite thing about this episode was the mugshot they showed. So someone has done like police sketch artists or mugshot things of a guy wearing a trash bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're passing it around like, if you see this guy, you should call the cops. He could be dangerous. Like, they have to tell people, if you see a guy wearing a trash bag, he could be a problem.
It's not the normal trash bag guy. It's not Scuba Steve. So Abigail visits TT at the Worm now, and she wants a little more butter in her beer.
Yeah.
I don't know, is that a witch reference? Is this a Harry Potter reference? Maybe it's all I got out of it.
I'm not sure.
Or maybe they used to drink butter in their beer back in the olden times. But
it's very
they
tart.
they talk about Thomasina, and TT kind of talks shit about her, and she's like, no, she's sticking up for her. She was murdered by a warlock pirate. And then Fangs walks up, and she's like, oh no,
there he is.
He looks just like the warlock pirate. Yeah.
That's the man who fought the Civil War for 30 years.
So Betty mentions that she couldn't see the trash bag killer's aura, and now she's having headaches. And Archie's like, and I'm vulnerable. I'm less dense. She's like, what's your weakness, Superman? He's like, I think it's palladium.
Whoa.
So
it's a good thing that stuff is everywhere.
There was at that moment there was like a shadow on the wall, like they acted like somebody was in the room, and then I don't feel like that ever paid off. But I thought we were about to have a hilarious prank. So Chughead tries writing for the doctor for 5 hours. He puts him in a quiet room and says, just write. And he can't accomplish anything.
There's no music.
There's nothing. No clickety-clack. So at Thistle House, Abigail's upset about Finn Fogarty being there, and Nana says, well, TT is serpent trash. And so she's not having that. So she puts Nana in a stall with hay on the floor.
Like a horse stall.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the barn.
Yeah. It's a pretty nice barn, but still. I thought that was funny. And so
there's a line about the pig. You're part of the pig people.
Yeah, the pig people.
Or the pig people.
Somebody else. Who else was the pig people? Somebody else was
Uncle.
Uncle. Baby Anchor.
Uncle. Feed him human.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. The other blossoms.
Yeah.
They were pig people.
So Jughead couldn't write anything, and the Daniel guy gives him a graphic novel called Seen Not Heard. Is that an actual graphic novel?
I don't know.
Wow, great research.
Nothing I recognize.
So Anato, the killer hired by Veronica, shows up to kill her. apparently we believe she was hired by her sister, Hermosa. And Geraldo, Abuelita's helper, shoots Anana.
What a shot.
It's amazing. Right through the back of the head with silence. So Jughead finishes reading the graphic novel and he can now write again. Only now he's going to be writing comics. He's found a way to write visually.
Those are easier.
That's what I heard. You have to write less. So,
Piece of cake, Jug.
yeah. So, Dennis, the crew guy, he found more palladium and he hands it to Archie and then he wangs him with a monkey wrench. So we got a nice wanging.
So was he the shadow then? Was that
I assume
somebody
yes.
overheard?
I assume, yeah. So Betty goes to Sketch Alley, and they've told her the trash bag killer was there. There's some guy with a trash bag on. They saw the guy. Somebody saw the flyer.
That's the mugshot.
Saw a guy with a trash bag on his head and called the FBI. So she goes down there. It all paid off. She goes down there, pulls it off his head. That's not the guy. The guy's like, it's not me. They just made me wear this. I just have a message I'm supposed to deliver to the blonde lady. It says, check the trash cans.
Mm-hmm.
And there's more pieces of Glenn.
There's a piece in every trash can.
Yes.
And there's a large amount of trash cans in Sketch Alley.
Yeah. Something sketchy about that. At the casino where they're doing the funeral, as you do, there's a young picture of the Ram in a wrestling outfit holding a trophy. It's like an actual picture of him from his high school days.
It's exactly what I want.
Looks like it's from fucking 1942. And she gives
it was his highest accomplishment in life. What else would be?
Yeah.
He's like he's asked them to have his entire role revolve around his high school identity. She gives her eulogy and ends it with, I will always love my daddykins.
Lame.
Oh, Archie wakes up to the trash bag killer telling him that he's the boogeyman. The Thunder shows up downstairs and yells up and he's like, I'm just cleaning. And she's like, well, Bingo ate my shoes and I'm leaving him here. So Bingo goes upstairs and Archie yells, Bingo, kill.
Yeah.
And Bingo pushes the TBK out the window and and TBK runs off.
There's nothing better on this show than when somebody goes out the window.
Yeah. So at the funeral home / casino, Geraldo tells Veronica that he has a recording of the Ram that she's supposed to listen to. So Archie's telling Betty after the fact, luckily Bingo remembered his commands from his old dogfighting days. All he said was Bingo kill, and he actually didn't kill him. So
no, he didn't say Bingo push.
No.
Bingo, take the trash out.
Yeah. It's good. Same. All of these led to the same thing. She said, I found most of Glenn, even his head. So Glenn is definitely dead.
Thank God.
She's going to leave town because the trash bag killer will follow her, she says. And then this is a neat plan. He is very likely to, once they're away from town, he may get distracted. Yeah. And then she'll come back.
He'll get distracted.
I was like, wow, that's a neat plan.
If I know anything about the trash bag killer, that sounds like him.
Easily distracted. So Veronica listens to the tape. She hear the Ram's voice, so he got paid to do something. He made this recording. Mija. Was all for you. I never doubted your love. You can have my rum business. Adios. Enjoy Doritos. And then the Thistle House, Abigail sees I assume, Cheryl's reflection in the mirror, like yelling at her. And so she breaks the mirror. And then.
So, yeah, Nana had said Cheryl's gone forever. So now we get a hint. Oh, wait, there's still a part of Cheryl.
Yeah, there's some Cheryl around there. Then we get last thing that happens back at Tang's house. I can't remember why that makes sense. That I really don't. Why Tang?
You're thinking TT and Fang's house.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's why I was like, this doesn't make any sense. At Jugatha's house.
Okay.
So they're sitting there, and she's reading a book, and she says, "I wonder if I left the stove on, it pops or whatever." And he's like, looking and realizes she's not talking. And then he's like, "Did you just think about whether you locked the door or check the stove and all this stuff?" And she's like, "Yeah." And we realize he can now hear people's thoughts.
Oh, man.
Crazy.
So
that's it.
Everybody's getting powers.
Yeah.
Pretty neat.
That's what I thought. It's like, it's weird. Archie and Betty got abilities and Jughead got a handicap, but no.
Well, also, that's because he was the furthest away from the blast. Someone closer to the blast was Bingo. Bingo was third away from the blast, and he got 4 broken legs.
Yeah, all he got was broken legs.
But he healed fast, though. You got some of that density.
He's
dog density.
Yes. I am your density. Amazing.
Wow. You know what? Knowing there's an end to this makes each one of these more special.
Good. I agree. It's the only thing that got me back on board is knowing that there's an end to this.
Right. Because it used to be.
It felt like
forever.
It was very overbearing on me. Like I said, there's a lot of content, and this is the only one that requires me to write notes.
Yeah.
A whole lot of notes while I'm doing it, so it's the last thing I want to watch. But knowing that there's an end to it, I'm still on board.
And it's only getting weirder. It's only getting more Riverdale. We hope you stick with us through the end. We're here. I don't care how low the ratings get. I don't care how weird the show gets.
Doesn't matter.
We're on the Dale train.
Oh.
So hop aboard with us. Stay aboard with us. And we'll see you next time. My name is Jordan Lowe.
Choo choo. I'm Cliff Barnes.
Enjoy Doritos. Seth, bye forever.
Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast, is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Sounds, music, and clips played during the podcast are property of copyright holders. All original content is property of www.udownwithkpp.com. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a comment. Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast, can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found. You can connect with us through social media on Facebook, YouTube, at the Ka-Pow Podcast on Twitter, or email the show, Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast @gmail.com. If you really want to go the extra mile, join our Patreon at patreon.com/udownwithkpp for special content and access to Patreon-only benefits. We are grateful for anyone who chooses to contribute, but please know that most of our content will remain free. So please continue to like, comment, and share.